glad to have this lady along. We've heard a lot about her. We've seen a lot about her just a few seconds ago. Warner Brothers Music's Brandy Clark. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we, you know, being from Washington, the weather's not, you're pretty used to this, right?
It's not this cold.
Yeah, it's not. It's weird.
But you know, Pittsburgh, it reminds me of where I'm from since it's a steel town. I've come from a lumber, this whole state is a lumber industry, but the town I come from is you know, lumber mills. So so the old steel mills
That
remember
town being Morton,
Washington.
It says here the population 1,126. Did you have a traffic light?
It was blinking. Yeah.
Did you ever stop at it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my parents I would have gotten in trouble for it. But actually, on this new record, there's going to be a version, a deluxe version, where there's some spoken word parts. And before one of the songs I said, my uncle shot the stoplight out. And that's true.
Really?
Yes, that is true. He is not.
What makes you mad at a blinking light?
Alcohol.
Okay, there you go. Great answer. Not, you know what, a stupid question on my part. All right, so a population growing up with hardly anybody in your town. So obviously music was your outlet. How did that come about? Like what was your earliest?
Oh man, I have so many. My mom is very musical.
Okay.
But my first like music memory, my grandparents went to see Loretta Lynn at the Puyallup Fair. And I remember wanting to go with them, but not being able to, and waiting up for them to get home because I wanted to hear about the show, and then waking up the next morning and my grandma telling me all about it. And the first concert I ever went to was actually also at the Puyallup Fair, Ronnie Millsap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so, and my grandma used to say there's two kinds of music, country and Western. And she meant
My
it.
grandmother said the same thing. My grandfather too. You know, he was the cowboy country and she was the non-cowboy country. So yeah, it's interesting to see when you come from places like that, small towns. And by the way, too, on the Wikipedia page for Morton, you are the notable person from there. Just so you know.
Well, my mom probably did that Wikipedia.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, wait, she did it well. Then tell her she needs to add more to it though, because it's just one sentence. But you are the notable person from there. People may not know this, but you have written songs for just about anybody that's anybody in country music. Okay, I'm gonna go over the list so I wouldn't miss anybody. Toby, Reba, Miranda, Darius, Casey, the band Perry. Basically, first name people.
Yeah.
It is. It's basically everybody that's known by their first name. How did you get, like, where did that progression take you from being a songwriter, successful, into this? I know everybody wants to go into this avenue of it. So was it hard to give away songs you knew were killer songs when you wanted to do this side of it as well?
It would be now.
Okay.
It wasn't then, and I'll tell you why.
You wanted to eat.
Yeah, well, that's some of it. Yeah. I moved to Nashville many years ago and wanted to do exactly this. But I got there and the, you know, different things happen and you end up on different paths, and I really fell into the staff songwriting thing. And by staff songwriting, I mean writing songs 9 to 5. And I loved that, and I loved being able to be that creative every day. And I started to think, oh well, maybe myself being a recording artist isn't going to happen. And I'll tell you a day in my life when I thought, wow, this can really happen. As far as the dream of music being your profession, Reba cut 2 of my songs on her "All the Women I Am" record, and I thought, wow, you know, this can really happen. Same week. A woman who became my manager heard some demos of mine, and demos are what you record to try to get other people to record your songs, and approached me about making my own record. And I was like, wow. And I remember her saying to me, there are a lot of people who the biggest thing that will ever happen to them is 2 Reba cuts. And she said, and that's a big thing, but I'm here to tell you there's going to be bigger things that are going to happen. And so, but there was something about that whole week. It was one of the best weeks of my life when I really think about it. And it started to happen. And so once that opportunity to make my own record came up, it was the snap of a finger. I was back in to, oh yeah, I want to do that, you know? Because I think, you know, you're right. All songwriters, there's a big part of them Some of them, it's bigger than others that really want to be doing this.
Well, it's their children, so to speak. You know, it's like watching them go out into the real world and being like, well, I want to be part of that. You know, outside of writing it. And by the way, too, and I'm sure I speak for many people in the audience here, yeah, sitting in a room 9 to 5 and being as creative as you are and coming up with the great songs that you do just angers all of us, because I'm sure we would all love to be able to. I thought maybe, oh, I'm just walking down the street. Oh, a bird. Okay, I'll write a song about it. Is that how it comes about?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I mean,
because if it was that easy, I was going to be very mad.
Believe it or not, I mean, it's hard. It's like anything, you know, if you want to do anything well, it takes a lot of work and a lot of tenacity, and it is a fun job. But the longer you're in it, the harder you have to search for inspiration, you know, because you write every great idea you think you have that first year that you're doing it professionally, and then you have to come up with something else.
Well, you've come up with a lot of something else, by the way. I mean, and I'm looking for more and more things from you. It's amazing to see just the talent that people don't know that are behind the scenes that are now coming to the forefront. And Nashville was great for that. That's probably the best place on the world for stuff like that. So I'm not going to waste any more of these people's time. We can't wait to hear some of your music. So thanks for stopping by, and thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandy Clark.